Welcome back to JB Reviews. A lot of people have been saying things in the comment section like when you add 37s to a truck and you level it, you lose all your capacity. You're not going to be able to hook up your fifth wheel to the truck. There's like a lot of stuff that people say. And that's kind of how I feel about the left. The left always does a lot of misinformation, but they say that the right has a lot of misinformation. So we're going to debunk some things today. And if I'm wrong, I will admit it. See, I'm okay to be wrong because that's how I learn. And if you haven't learned yet, I do a lot of research before I do anything. Do you know how long I've been looking at buying a dually? Probably as long as it took me to buy a fifth wheel. This took me 3 years. This took me longer. But yeah, it takes me a long time to do anything. So I did start looking at a dually about 2 years ago. Let me show you some footage really quickly, and this will kind of give you a timestamp of when I knew I was going to get a dually.
Perfect.
When I saw that Ram 3500 Mega Cab on 37's, that's when I knew I was gonna get a dually, because personally, I've always strayed away from big trailers. Now I know that this is a 40-foot fifth wheel, and to some people this is huge, but this is a 13,000 pound trailer fully loaded. So it's about 11.5 empty. So it's not a heavy trailer. You don't really need a dually for this. This is not that big of a trailer, but I've always wanted a toy hauler. And because I knew that these aren't enough trucks for that big of a trailer, I've always strayed away from them. So now if I decide I want to get maybe a fifth wheel in the future, toy hauler, I have a truck that can do that. So let's go back to what this video is about. A lot of people said that I basically got rid of all the capacity of the truck. It can't hook up to a fifth wheel anymore because it sits too high in the back. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm okay with people asking questions. Hey, do you think that you are gonna mess up the capacity of the truck? Do you think that you're gonna mess up the towing characteristics? That's a great question. But what most people do is they assume. So in this video, we're not gonna assume. We're gonna actually figure out if it's truth. Now this is probably about 1,200 pounds. I have some tires in here and it's pretty much riding level. And just about every truck that I tow with, it rides like this. And so today I'm going to show you guys how much I have to raise the fifth wheel, and we'll see, will this truck actually hook up, because I have a pin box that sits really low. So how much do I have to raise up my fifth wheel with these big old 37s? Now let me remind you of something. I did not lift the back of this truck. And with that being said, let's get started. Alrighty, here we go. So this ground is not really level, but I'm gonna do it anyways because we're just lifting it up. Actually, yeah, this side's a little bit lower, but it's not by much though. So what I like to do, and this is why I love these newer fifth wheels, because you can do the left side a little bit like this. All right there, you can do the right side the same way. And let's go ahead and drop it down. Nice. Just make sure I push the pins all the way in too. Yep. One thing I love about the Chevy trucks, you literally have a power lift gate. Not assisted, powered. So you can literally put it back up too. Yeah, I just have to undo all this. I can't wait for you guys to see the towing videos for the gas truck. I probably will do the towing videos for the dually, for the level next month, because I just don't have the time. And like I told you guys, it's a lot of work to go out to Park City, because I live probably about an hour away from there. And that's just one way. But I'm gonna go ahead and lift it up, and you guys will be able to see how much I need to lift it up more for this so-called lifted dually. Gosh, it looks so good. I have 5 1/4 inches of clearance. Now, my Reese Goose box, it does need air. You guys can see it says add air, it's yellow. So that makes this even closer with the dually. I'm only gonna lift this up just enough to clear the ball. That's it. And then I'm gonna hook it up to my dually and we're gonna see how it does. Do you think I can clear? That is the question. I have just enough room to pull from under the pin box, okay? You guys see there? No excuses. You see that? That's just enough. All right, let's go ahead and pull from under, and I'm gonna get my black truck. Unfortunately, I don't have a camera for the bed, so let me just stop here because I have to make sure I can clear my tailgate, because after all, I did increase the height a little bit from the tires, but there's no lift obviously from the oh yeah, I can clear, but yeah, there's no extra lift for like suspension. See that? There it is. I've already cleared step 1. I'm just saying. So let me just go up a little bit more. I should be right under now. Let's turn a little bit more. I'm probably a little too far over to the driver's side. But right there. Yeah, I forgot to put the oh yeah, yeah, about that. Yeah, I need to get my ball. I forgot about it. It's in the white truck. See, that's another reason why I like my trucks to have these cameras, because I would have noticed that before I started backing up. So yeah, now we got to install this and we'll get back to it. Now hopefully you guys can see right there, it's only about 1 inch off. That's it. It's 1 inch off. That's all it is. So let's go ahead and lift it up. That's it. Let's see what it does. Yeah, I can clear that. There it is. Under the pin box. Let's step back and let's see how high it is. Does it look that high? You be the judge. I don't think it's that high. That's probably about maybe like another inch higher than what it was with the 3500 single reel wool. So think of it like this. These trucks aren't as high as the single reel was. Now I have to go look that up. But based off what I've seen, it looks like the dually sit a little bit lower. So I'm gonna drop all the weight down now. All I gotta do is go here. Actually, I'm gonna hook up to my truck because my batteries are kind of low. Yeah, 11.8. Let me go ahead and hook up to my truck real quick, hold on. All right, here we go. Retract all. Jacks are off the ground. Do I need airbags or bump stops for 2,500 pounds of pin weight? I don't think so. It's riding level. And remember, I didn't max out the front end for my level. This is about 2 1/4 inches, right? And if I want, I can go down a little bit if I want to, so I don't have to necessarily get airbags. So I have a little bit of functionality with the Chevy truck. GMCs are the same. So again, it's not about being right or wrong. Before you assume, at least ask the question first. I don't see nothing wrong with this. I mean, come on. That looks so good. That looks so good. But admit it, there's nothing wrong with this truck. And if I decide to go to a toy hauler or to a bigger fifth wheel wide body 18,000 pound GVWR, I'll just add airbags because I still have enough payload capacity to tow a bigger trailer. These tires are not going to affect that. Now, if I raised the rear of this truck by 1 inch, my trailer would be riding nose high. But let's talk about that for a second because there's a few things that you can do if you have that issue. So let me go back real quickly. Is my trailer riding nose high? Doesn't look like it to me. Again, like I told you guys, I only really lifted the rear about 1 inch because this truck sits higher than the dually out back. I think it does. But regardless, this is a dually. The suspension out back is a little bit more overbuilt and it doesn't squat that much with 2,500 pounds of pin weight. Now keep in mind, if you are having an issue, because one of my guys, Ren, I saw your comment that you made. You have a GMC, I think you ran 35s, but your trailer is riding a little nose high. Here's a couple things that you can do. The less popular choice is you can flip your leaf springs, basically to raise your trailer. I don't recommend you do that. I hope I don't have to do that in the future if I ever decide to run a, bigger truck like this. Another thing that I can do, or anyone that's looking to get a Reese goose box, do you see my goose ball there? So that's probably about 2 inches, maybe 3 inches of height. I basically can go to a shorter goose ball to lower the front end of the trailer basically. And if you want, you could actually go up, I think, 1 position here, so that way you can lower the nose that way. So if you don't have a gooseneck fifth wheel hitch like this, then you can just raise your pin box and basically get a little bit more clearance there. You can also obviously lower your fifth wheel hitch if you haven't done that yet. I'm sure that most people know that you can lower and raise that as well. But if you're gonna lift the rear, you're probably gonna have to flip those leaf springs. And again, I don't recommend you do that. But yeah, my trailer is not riding that much higher compared to my white truck. And if I want to, I could get a shorter goose ball, and then that way I could lower it a little bit more for this truck. Last thing I'll do is I'm gonna show you guys the clearance with the tape measure. So it's basically the same, let's call it 5 1/8. So it went from 5 1/4 to 5 1/8. And remember, if I air up my goose box to maybe 40 PSI, that would be enough for this. But again, even if it rolled a little bit higher up front, I could get a shorter goose ball. I could even reposition the pin box a little bit higher. Now you have to read the owner's manual to make sure that you're within the limits of that, because that's something I forgot to mention earlier, is that might be an issue you have, because sometimes the pin box cannot be positioned higher. There's a lot of stuff you have to look into, but you have to read the owner's manual on your pin box to figure that out. On mine, I think that this is at the second highest setting for my fifth wheel. And because obviously I never intended to lift my truck, so I never wanted them to go any higher than this. But yeah, I can get a shorter goose ball, and if I really wanted my trailer to ride level with my truck, I could flip my leaf springs, but I don't think I'll need to do that. So yeah, again, I appreciate you guys in the comment section, but hey, ask questions. If you don't own the truck and you've never done this before, why would the first thing that comes to your mind is my truck is now rendered useless for towing? If anything, it might be better. It might be better. But we're not gonna be able to find out in this video because I have to do one more video with this truck and I don't feel like towing an hour away. So if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel and you'll see this truck towing my fifth wheel up a, 6% grade, going towards Park City here in Utah. What I'll do too is, I'm planning on de-winterizing my RV because I know we're gonna go camping soon. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put 80 gallons of water out back too, just to give this truck a little bit more strain.